Yeah, of course, Chris. Happy to be here. Excited to share the story. So at Just Vertical, we build indoor vertical farms and gardens for everything from your home to warehouses that grow food in the middle of cities that you might not even know are there. So it's all about how can we feed people better food in a more sustainable way.
Wow. Okay. How did you find yourself in this industry?
So it sounds silly, but it all started with tacos, and I swear by the key to a good taco is all in the fresh cilantro, which I know can be a controversial take for some people, but I always had the issue. You go to the grocery store, and cilantro seems to come in that one size, that big bunch. It's always way too big to get through all at once. So what do? You end up using like half of it. The rest goes in the fridge, and 2 days later, it is a slimy, gross mess. So I was like, okay, how can I grow my own food? And I live in Toronto. I live in a condo. It's just snowy most of the year. I don't face the right way for natural light. It's like, okay, what are my options here to grow my own cilantro for my tacos? And that is what kicked off the idea there. Something as simple as that.
That's amazing. My wife is obsessed with two types of cuisine, tacos and sushi, so I can fully relate to how important cilantro and fresh chopped onions, and she gets mad at me if I put cheese on it. She's a purist. So I get it.
Yeah, it's the impact of the herbs, but I always joke I'm like, once in a while we can do an American taco, like the old El Paso taco kit.
Little Tex-Mex.
Yeah.
That's awesome, man. That is you have to be around our 200th guest, founder guest on this show, and you're the first one that has been on your path due to tacos. So that's it's incredible, man. Thank you for sharing that.
That's
Um,
it.
yeah. So how did you, get traction? How did you turn this into a business?
Yeah, so I went to grad school. I did my master's of science in sustainability management, and going through my taco struggle, I was talking to a guy I'd been friends with, and he had actually worked in the far Arctic in the north, where you're above the tree line on growing food in remote communities. So we had an opportunity through one of our classes to build a prototype. So we did that, and we really got lucky in that principal of the university was walking by. He loved it. Uh, Sat down, talked to us for like half an hour. He's like, you know what? This is really, really cool. I'd like you to come to the governing council of the university, talk to them about it. And I think we should build a farm on campus. And we did that. You always talk about red tape in government, and we really lucked out because I've never gotten something approved as fast as it did that time since. But we sold them on the idea for this farm, and they cut us a check for 30K, which was more money than I'd ever seen in my life as a grad student. So that was how it kicked off, and it really snowballed from there. And a lot of a lot of hustling, a lot of talking, a lot of selling the vision.
Wow. So it sounds like tacos are your secret power here, Connor.
That's it. It's how can you engage people in a way that makes sense? Because I can talk about the science of vertical farming forever, and people will never get it. But when it's like, how do I relate it to the frustration of tacos, or like that box of spinach you always promise yourself you're going to get through this time? Like it goes bad in the fridge. It's like, how do you connect people with those pain points that make sense to them?
Yeah. Wow. That's so cool. So from there, like how did you get traction? How'd you get the word out? How'd you figure out how this fits in people's lives?
Yeah, so from there, that was we got enough revenue from there just to interest angel investors, because one of the challenges, we're a hardware company. It's expensive to build. It's expensive to develop. So got enough interest from angel investors, and went to the market, started talking to them, got a few small investments to start developing our own technology, which is what we did was in just enough. We raised just enough money to build a demo, went out, hit the trade show circuit, uh, started taking pre-orders, and use that to raise the next level of funding, which was enough to bring the product into development. And for context, we started the company as a consumer goods company building furniture that feed you, call it, the gardens for your home primarily. And did that pretty much through COVID. And, it exploded over COVID because we all had nowhere to spend our money. We were all concerned with where our food was coming from and wanting some greenery in our house. So really took off from there. And then kind of post COVID, it's we did the pivot to more of the commercial farms. We're building larger farms now, but really been a stepwise process of kind of grinding it up to the next phase and the next phase and the next phase.
Hmm. Wow. So who's your primary customer these days?
Yeah, so on the commercial side of the business, where most of it is now, we deal a lot with people who are either consuming a lot of food. So a lot of that may be, university campuses, senior living homes, institutions, or people who are producing food. So it's really a vertical integration play for people where it's like, hey, maybe I'm a co-packer or I am a farmer, and it's how can I diversify my revenue? How can I add stability to my revenue? Or how can I cut costs by actually growing something that I'm going through a lot of in-house?
Hmm. Got it. And what are the major benefits for commercial buyers?
So if you're somebody like let's take a university campus, for example, it's for them, it's actually controlling their costs. It's one thing we've seen since, 2019, 2020, supply chains got shaken up and never really recovered.
Mhm.
So, the price of food has been going up essentially globally. It's how can we control that? How can we hedge against that? And at the same time, it also provides sustainability benefits in terms of water saved, food mile reduction, or travel cost reduction. So it's both a food control, a food sovereignty piece, as well as that sustainability, that living lab piece for folks.
Hmm. Okay, awesome. And what was the thinking behind transitioning from it sounds like you still serve consumers, but the commercial is a much bigger focus.
We do, yeah. We've still got our consumer line of products we're super proud of. We've got three of them out there, come like five different colors each. But for my co-founder Kevin and I, we really started the company from a food security lens and a sustainability lens. It's, how can we truly make a difference in how we're feeding the planet? And, starting at home is a great way to do it. But if we really want to reach that mega impact, those high levels of difference, we've kind of got to go up the supply chain. And it's a commercial farm can be anywhere from 5,000 to 500,000 plants. Whereas, at home, it's 18, 24, 88 plants. So it allowed us to take that next level, that next step in terms of our impact journey and kind of fulfilling what drives us.
Hmm. Got it. And are vertical farms superior to kind of traditional farms in certain aspects?
They're good for some things. They're not a silver bullet solution. So
Yeah.
um, there's certain crops we are really good at growing outside. And I come from an ag background, so it's like your big row crops like your corn, your canola, your soy, your wheat. Those are never going to be able to be grown at scale indoors effectively. Like, you go out onto a wheat farm or a corn farm and like a new combine's 100 feet wide. It drives itself. It's all GPS. Like we are really good at that stuff.
Yeah.
Um, like a lot of the ready to eat, your herbs, your leafy greens, tomatoes, strawberries, a lot of that is still very backbreaking work. It's very labor intensive, and it's very susceptible to shifts in weather. So that is where vertical farming shines because we can bring those ready to eat crops to year round availability and we can build a much nicer, much easier, much more efficient working environment for employees and for the people on these farms, right? You're taking them out of the baking sun into a nice climate cooled environment instead of being bent over. A lot of it you're doing at kind of standing height, and then there's a lot of automation you can build in there.
Hmm. Okay. That's awesome. So, one of the big reasons I wanted to move to Europe is because they seemingly use less, pesticides, herbicides, glyphosates, all that stuff. I don't want to get political, um, but is there any benefit to vertical farming in regards to less need for pesticides?
Absolutely. So the two places it shines from a sustainability, from an environmental and a health point of view, is uh, you're zero pesticide and much more efficient on the fertilizer. And zero pesticide is driven because these are indoors, and often you're
Mm.
walking through a clean room to get it there, so pests don't have a way to get in.
Oh,
Uh,
wow.
so there's just no need for it. Sometimes you may get like a fungus outbreak, like a powdery mildew, but because you're walking through your farm every day, it's a lot easier to control for that. And in outdoor agriculture, precision agriculture, where it's like instead of spraying your entire field, maybe you can spray just a few acres. When you're dealing with it in indoor farming, it's like, okay, I can just manage these like 20 plants here and just, pull them and maybe use some hydrogen peroxide to get rid of it. But it's zero pesticides, zero herbicides, zero fungicides is the default instead of the exception. And then on the fertilizer side, it is because all of on like the system's just vertical built, they're recirculating, meaning the water gets pumped into the system and then gets fed to the plants. Whatever they don't absorb just goes down into a main tank and recycles. There's no fertilizer runoff. So whatever you put into the system gets used by the plants. And that's the big problem we have in outdoor agriculture is if you dump fertilizer on a field and then it rains, that fertilizer is running into your waterways. It's running into the soil, and that means you have to use one a lot more. But two, you're endangering local wildlife, local waterways. That's where you see things like the algae blooms from nitrogen and phosphorus runoffs, and those dead zones in the ocean, like we talked about in the Gulf of Mexico, like right at the mouth of the Mississippi River. There's a hypoxic dead zone because of how much fertilizer runs down that river because it's surrounded by agriculture all the way up.
Wow. Okay, that's awesome. So what are, I mean, it sounds like as like I've obviously heard of this before. I think most people would admit they've heard of vertical farming, but it sounds like we're not even scratching the surface of like opportunities here. Are there what opportunities are you most excited about for growth here?
Yeah, it seems crazy to me, like from somebody who comes from a food background, that we're not able to feed everybody around the world effectively in 2025. Like
Yeah.
we've got more than enough food. It's just, it's going bad. It's being wasted. We're overproducing in the wrong areas, or people are living in remote communities where it's hard to get to. So for us, by decentralizing the system and bringing the food closer to where people consume it, you just naturally get a lot less waste because this is going from harvest to your plate,
Mm.
in a day or 2 days, and you've got that much more time to get through it. So it's really about, okay, what can we do to make fresh food more affordable, last longer, and waste less? And we talk about vertical farming as some crazy high tech solution, but one of our projects we're most proud of is we deployed a farm on the Ukrainian border in Moldova this year. And it's like, if we can do
Wow.
that there as part of a food relief program, like there's no reason we can't have these all over Europe, North America, Asia. Like it is doable. Anybody can run these. Like the technology is moving along really quickly to
Mm.
get these out.
Wow. That's so cool. So, where are your clients and what do they look like exactly?
Yeah, we mainly operate in Canada and the US, but we on occasion do farms around the world. They vary, so we can do everything from food aid programs, like we talked about Moldova. We've got a project up in Kodiak, Alaska, that looks like it's like two containers that are joined together with a wall cut out that's providing food to the local community up there. And that one's actually run by the Indigenous Health Network up there. Got a project going on in Connecticut where they're the largest Meals on Wheels provider. in the Northeast, and they just wanted to be able to control some of their food supply chain because it's a program that gets funded. How can we control costs and deliver this more effectively? So the clientele varies, but it's builders, it's universities, it's institutions, it's farmers, it's anywhere food touches, there's an opportunity to integrate.
Hmm. Awesome. And how do you get in front of them, and how do you convince them this is the right move for them?
Yeah, so we get some people are coming to us. We do get quite a bit of inbound interest where it's people, just like you said, they've heard of vertical farming. It's like, okay, maybe this is a fit. How can I explore it further? And we'll talk with them there. It's also anytime we build a farm, naturally people want to come and see it because they are very, very futuristic. Like they're very cool to tour. So we had quite a few referrals through those as well, and then the content we produce. So we love to tell the stories of our clients, especially the impact stories. So we do produce quite a few testimonial videos. We try and shoot them like mini documentaries, share the stories, and it's often a lot of the clients we've worked with have that story to tell the impact they're trying to make, whether that's the food side, helping people out, or just feeding them. So those are our main channels for getting in front of people. And then of course, trade shows. Can't go wrong with those in all the different industries. So a lot of time on
Hmm.
the road there.
Yeah. Nice. Um, that's awesome. So I may have asked this question in one way or another, but I want to. I've realized I didn't ask you directly. Like, how can vertical farming like improve the world?
Yeah, it's really for us about like the food sovereignty, the food access, and making sure there is fresh food available no matter where you live. Even you wouldn't think about it, but even in Canada, we import 96% of our leafy greens.
Wow.
You got a lot of these island nations around the world, everything from the Caribbean to Singapore, where that's an issue. So it's how can we? It's being able to provide access to that fresh food and being able to grow it in a way that's not harming people or the planet.
Hmm. Awesome. Awesome. So, I'm sure you heard of this in April, Spain and parts of France and most of Portugal, like completely lost power
Yeah.
for, most of a day. I think it was like 18 hours. Um, that happened, like literally the cell phones didn't work, like our power didn't work, grocery stores were closed. And it just made you think, you're like, I should probably like have some sort of like food, like emergency food, and like at least like the rudimentary way to like grow my own food. So I've had that in the back of my head. I'm like, I need to buy some solar panels and like a generator and like some
Yeah.
seeds and maybe like just grow stuff on my balcony or something.
Yeah.
Is there, this vertical farming sounds like it would fit perfectly in my like, prepper paranoid mindset. Is there like a good first step with both like what you grow and how you grow it to just kind of like, you know, get your feet wet here?
Yeah, we always say like if you've never grown anything before, just like take the simple way and like get a pot of herbs going. It's as simple as like don't even worry about the vertical farm. Just get a pot on the balcony, some soil, some seeds, and most people you'd be amazed how quickly and how much things grow.
Mhm.
If you do want to get into it, by all means, like check out our website. Like our systems are easier to use than a traditional garden. I would say, but it's just about dabbling, getting your feet wet, giving it a try, and it's $20 goes a long way at the garden center in terms of getting things done. I mean, for you in Spain, it's you got a great climate for it. So just give it a crack, see how it goes, and it's a lot of fun. It's a fun hobby.
Yeah, yeah. All right. I think you've inspired me. I can't drag my feet anymore. Awesome. All right. Well, we are coming towards the end of our time together. I have one final question for you. It is the name of the program. It's an open-ended question. You can take it in any direction that you want, big, small, everything in between. And the question is, what are you working towards?
Yeah, I would say we're working towards creating a better food system, a better planet, uh, and I don't know if it's a kind of a millennial age group thing, like working off the guilt of climate in the climate and just trying to help build a bit of a better world so I can sleep well at night.
Yeah, yeah. And our grandkids and great grandkids can also sleep well. Yeah.
Exactly.
That's awesome,
Exactly.
man. That's super super passionate of you, man. I love that. That's you're chasing your entrepreneurial dreams and it also helps the world. It's such a win-win and really appreciate you taking the time to, share your experiences with me and my audience. So it's been great,
Uh,
Connor.
Thanks,
Yeah.
Chris. Appreciate it. It's been great talking.
Yeah. Where can my audience find out more about you and Just Vertical?
Yeah, you can check out our website, www.justvertical.com. Click on the commercial button if you're interested in a bigger farm. And as always, happy to connect with folks on LinkedIn. You can look me up, Connor Tid. Always happy to have a chat with folks, hear what you're passionate about, and help you learn more about vertical farming.
Yeah. Awesome. All right. Well, thanks again so much for taking the time, Connor. And to all of our listeners out there, thank you so much for tuning in and keep on growing out there, everybody. See ya.